Hey guys, Jessica Coulter here, CEO and founder of Ace Cookie Tutoring. Today I want to talk to you about the 3 phases your next project needs to go through in order for it to be successful. So when I say projects, I'm thinking school and I'm thinking things at home. So it can be any type of project, and these are the 3 steps that I want to tell you about and advise you that are going to make your next project much smoother than maybe that last disaster you went through or maybe your child went through. So, if you've ever had a project that didn't go so well, DIY or school related, let me know with a yes down below, and make sure you hit that like button too so I know this message is relevant to you. So step number 1, phase number 1 is literally what is the project. Like figure out the topic, figure out what the purpose is, and when it comes to school, we've all done those activities, those group projects. So if you're going to have a partner or multiple people working with you, then you need to know their names. You need to have some contact information because especially at the college level, you're expected to work on these projects, these presentations outside of the classroom. So if you don't even know that person's name or those people's names, it's going to be really hard to get a good grade on that project. So that is phase number 1, is to identify what the project is even about. Figure out if you're working with anybody. If this is like a project at home, and someone's helping you build something, well, you need to make sure everybody knows we're getting together at Friday at 7 to put this shelf together, or we're getting together to build this on this day. Have a plan. Now, the very last thing before we move to phase 2 about phase 1 is about the rubric. Okay, so again, we're going back to school. A rubric is going to tell you how you're going to get your grade. So you need to take some time to read the rubric, figure out which points are going to get you what grade. So if you decide to spend all your time making it the prettiest PowerPoint ever with all these colors, all these animations, but that's only 5 points, whereas having proper spelling, proper grammar gets you 25 points, well, I would advise you, and hopefully you would know, focus on the 25 points over the 5 points. Okay? And at home, when it comes to your rubric, that is the directions, or the picture on the box. What's this thing supposed to look like? What is your goal with creating this? Okay? So before we move into phase 2 and 3, if you're just now joining us, let me know with a yes down below if you've ever had a project go awry. If something hasn't gone right, whether it's something you built or something you completed at school. I also want to encourage you to join my Facebook group. So if you have a project that you're working on now or something upcoming, then once you in my group, the link's in the description so I can get you some help with the editing and the proofreading. Okay? Now, when phase 2 comes along, you're actually putting this thing together. You're actually doing the project. Okay, so you're going to take time to start filling out the slides. You're going to have hopefully done some research and have some information that you can start putting together. And this means also you're starting this build. You're starting whatever you're doing at home, whether it's a recipe or building something, whatever project. I kind of go DIY is where my brain goes, but recipes are also projects, or even something fun like an art project. So definitely the actual doing is what's happening in phase 2. And the last phase to talk about today, guys, phase 3, this means that we are fixing any problems. We are putting the finishing touches on it, and we're making sure it's as good as it can get, it's as good as we want it to be, and it's what the teacher wants, it's what we were supposed to make. Okay? So those are our 3 phases. Do know phase 1 is probably the most important, because if you don't spend that time on the front end, you're going to have a disaster on your hands at the end, and you might also be scrambling at the end. So if the project is due 3 weeks from today, and yet you don't start it until 2 weeks and 3 days from today, it's going to be a lot harder to get a good grade to do everything you want to that needs to be done if you don't spend that time in the beginning. Okay? So thanks so much for watching, guys. Encourage you to join the Facebook group. So remember, if you want some help making that project the best it can be, you want some editing, you want some proofreading, I want you in my group. It's called Students Aiming for A's. The link's in the description. It's totally free. Would love to have you. Have a great night.